Welcome to STH English. The big news, obviously, is America joining the war. When people say America has joined the war, they beg the question that America was never part of the war. We have consistently been insisting that this is a tag team match against Iran. America is the big guy who's standing outside the ring, creating the enabling environment for the guy that he has fielded into the ring, which is Netanyahu, to go and beat a country whose hands are tied behind the back. So now that America has actually also jumped into the fray, people say that America has joined the war. No. America was always part and parcel of the war. The war was planned long before the war was launched, and it was only a question of whether America will go over the rope and into the ring, or will stand behind the rope and keep on puppeteering Netanyahu. So now that it has been done, there are lots of questions that need to be asked. First and foremost, has Iran actually lost its capacity? Has his weapon capacity been obliterated, to use a word that Trump used? The jury is still out on that. Number one, there is no radioactivity and radiation levels that have been detected to have gone up, but people are still watching it closely. So far, almost 36, 48 hours after the attack, the radiation levels are what they were before the attack took place. The other is something that I want to show you, the satellite pictures. The jury is still out. How much of the damage could actually have been caused if Iran had moved its vital assets out of the Fordo facility? You look at these satellite pictures and you see trucks moving around, and lots of them. This is one satellite picture. So did Iran move its critical assets from this facility, and did it move it to another facility? Remember, if you have enriched uranium and you also have the capability to launch warheads, you don't have to go through a very sophisticated and scientifically endorsed process to create a really scary warhead. You could put together a quick, dirty warhead and put it on a missile and launch it. So if Iran has been able to, number one, withstand the attack on its infrastructure, if Iran has been able to shift its critical assets to another facility, Trump's tall claims of having obliterated the Iranian capability would really fly in his face whenever reality was to come out. The third thing is that Iran has not bent to the strange international demand coming from, say, Germany, France, UK, that you go to the negotiating table. As the Iranian foreign minister said, that we never left the negotiating table. We were there on the negotiating table. It was Israel that attacked us and blew up that table. And then when we went to the European negotiating table, it was Trump who bombed us and blew up that negotiating table. So we are still there. It is just that the table isn't there. So going back to the table, from the European, American point of view, is to say that we give you ironclad guarantees that we will not, number one, enrich uranium. Probably we will not even have uranium. And if we have uranium stockpiles, we are going to hand it over to a third party. Number two, and this is an additional demand that has been put on Iran, reduce the flying distance of your missiles. Do not have long-distance missiles. Now, starting from do not enrich uranium beyond a certain point to don't have any uranium, don't have any missiles, and now Trump adds another amazing third to the demand list, which is why not change the regime itself? And herein lies the real rub. If Iranians were to come to the negotiating table with the American president having already put the third demand on the table, it will be suicidal as far as they are concerned. The supreme leader might as well leave lock, stock and barrel, close the revolutionary shop and tell everyone that Iran is restored to the pre-revolutionary situation if it were to sit on the table with this kind of a demand being there, because it is akin to saying that, yes, we accept your demand, Iran needs to be made great again, which essentially means that revolution has to be dismantled. So the dismantling of the Iranian nuclear facility has expanded into the agenda of dismantling the revolution, dismantling the regime, dismantling the existing system. Okay, you dismantle it to replace it with what? The Western idea of creating new states, systems, and the Western idea of creating and crafting new governments, replacing the old ones, has had disastrous repercussions and disastrous results. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. Just Google what was happening in Iraq. What is happening in Iraq now? What was happening in Libya? What is happening in Libya now? What was happening in Syria? What is happening in Syria now? Look at Afghanistan even. The Western power, USA in this case, spent billions and trillions of dollars, in fact. Hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, trying to somehow create a new state structure, trying to support a government which is an alternative to the Taliban. Now, who's ruling Afghanistan right now? It's the Taliban. So, one, when you start this kind of experiment, wars do not end. Number two, when you start this kind of experiment, countries, people suffer drastically. Number three, every country that has experienced and experimented liberation, becoming great again, or some sort of a democratic spring, ended up really in the dumps. People suffered, economies tanked, state structure got fractured. It is not a life that you want to cherish. Wherever Western civilization went and tried to change the situation, they are attempting the same formula in Iran. So the Iranians must really be thinking that, having learned from the Western desire to change the destiny of countries and actually leaving them up on the bad hill without a pedal, do we want to go that path? Unlikely that Iran will go that path. Unlikely that it will throw up an internal upheaval, turn it into a move against the revolutionary regime. Unlike, because Iran right now is under siege. A lot of arguments are now being made in the US that if you want the Iranian people to somehow go against this regime, you need to remove the threat of war from their heads. You cannot ask the nation to listen to your demands of regime change from within when you are battering that very nation. So you either befriend people, win their hearts and minds by removing this war situation, or you basically lose their hearts and minds forever. As far as our assessment is concerned, the West has lost the hearts and minds of the Iranian people across the board. When the Nobel Peace Prize winning Nargis, who has been in and out of jails and has suffered at the hands of the present Iranian regime, also says that democracy cannot come through violence and wars. The argument is sealed forever that war is going to create a situation within Iran which will be a domestic kind of a revolution against the regime. So Iran is more politically compact. It has fewer fractures within. That means that if people do not wish this war, the war mongers will continue to impose this war because this is the only path that is available to them. The domestic path of regime change is over. We are looking at a fairly long and devastating and destructive situation in Iran, and it is happening right on our borders. So for good reason, the National Security Committee is meeting today.